Alright, what's up? We're back with episode 3 of Basketball Recap. We're going to start off with the big Jimmy Butler trade, including Justin Patton being sent to the 76ers in exchange for Robert Covington and Dario Saric. Overall, a pretty good trade for the 76ers, but if you're Minnesota, the rumors came out that there was an offer from the Houston Rockets for 4 first-round picks. I really don't see how you could pass that up, the entire future of the team, for just 2 players. But Dario Saric is a pretty good player. He was the finalist for Rookie of the Year. He has a pretty bright future, so we'll see how this trade turns out.
Another big story sweeping through the NBA is struggles of Carmelo Anthony with the Houston Rockets. There's been rumors that he's going to be released within the upcoming week, and he has had a disappointing start to the season, only averaging 13 points a game and 5 rebounds, less than 1 assist. And the game that really started making these rumors look like the truth. 2 points, 1 of 11 from the field against his former team, the Thunder. I think he still has the talent to be a good player in this league. He just can't be the number 1 guy anymore, and he's got to learn to be able to play in a system where he's not getting all the touches that he used to get, and maybe he needs to be a 3rd or 4th option. But I think if he finds the right fit, he can still succeed in the league.
We're going to move on to a very sad news. We mentioned the struggling Brooklyn Nets, and things just got worse as their star player, Caris LeVert, suffered a gruesome leg injury a couple days ago against the Timberwolves. However, there was some good news that came out. He should be back for the end of the season, so we wish him speedy recoveries.
Alright, now we're going to get into some game picks for the upcoming week. First one, Warriors versus Rockets. You got?
I'm going to go with the Warriors. I think that the Rockets still have some stuff to figure out, and you can't, although the Warriors have been struggling, you cannot go and play the Golden State Warriors and be struggling because they're going to tear you apart.
I agree with you. I think the Warriors are going to win, even with all the turmoil in the locker room between KD and Draymond Green. The players for the Warriors think that KD is leaving this summer. I still think that's not going to affect a really good team like the Warriors. I think they'll win with ease against a struggling Rockets team, but I expect a big performance from James Harden.
We're going to move on. Let's go 76ers versus Jazz. What do you think?
Jimmy Butler's home debut for the Sixers against a Jazz team that I thought would get off to a better start than they have. They're playing about .500 basketball right now. I think it's a big win for the Sixers and a statement to the whole Eastern Conference, even the NBA, to show that they might be the front runners for the East now.
Look, I'm definitely going to agree with that. I think that Jimmy Butler is a great pickup for the Sixers. They have some veteran leadership now to go along with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, some young talent, but I think that he is going to be a great player for them, and they are going to show that they are a team not to mess with. Now we've got Cavs, Lakers, and LeBron's return to Cleveland. What do you think?
LeBron better come back to cheers and a bunch of standing ovations, because what he did for the Cavs, no other player in the league could have done. You see it now that the team isn't very good, but he brought them to the finals. He won a finals with them, and also Kyrie Irving, but still, I think he's going to come back. He's going to put on a show. Cavs aren't very good this year. I think the Lakers are going to get a big win.
I don't agree. I think that Lakers will win pretty comfortably with their new backcourt. They seem to have figured out the issues with Alonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma. I think that LeBron will show that he is the best player in the league, and that Cleveland definitely misses him, and they will show just how good he is.
Let's switch it up. College basketball started last week. We're going to recap some of the biggest games from the first week. We'll start with Michigan State and Kansas. Watch that game. Neither team really impressed me. KU was the number 1 ranked team. Michigan State number 10. KU won 92-87. They were in control for most of the game until 15 minutes left in the game. Michigan State started to go on a run, and they really took over the game. I thought they were going to come back and win, but KU, behind the shooting of freshman Quentin Grimes, he had 21 points on 6 of 10 shooting from 3. And Dedrick Lawson, 20 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. Those big performances saved the game for them, but I really didn't like KU. I didn't think they were that good. Michigan State also has a lot of room for improvement.
Let's move on to one of the more exciting teams that we have to see this year. We had on opening night number 4 Duke against number 2 Kentucky. Duke easily won 118-84. So let's talk about just how good Duke is. They won in basically every single statistical category. They shot 54% from the field, including 46 from three-point range. And they only had 4 turnovers, which is very good. The Fab Four freshmen, led by R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson, they dropped a combined 89 points to 4 of them, including 33 from Barrett and 28 from Zion. I think that they are possibly the best team that we've ever seen in college basketball. So, what do you think?
I think they are easily the front runners to win the national championship. I don't think anyone can stop them. They have 3 NBA-ready players right now, and a great guard in Trey Jones to run the show. I think it's going to take some injuries and really just a lack of focus for them to lose a game this season. Now we're going to get to our Final Four predictions. Give it to me.
I think it's going to be Duke is a pretty obvious one. I think that North Carolina will possibly squeeze in. Villanova, they always run the Big East. I think that this year, although they're just coming off a national championship, I think that they will really prove that they are not just a one-year team. They are a start of a dynasty. I think that we might see Kansas, depending on how things shake out in the Big 12. But what about you?
I definitely agree with you. Duke, easily my national champion pick. The best team in the country by far. Gonzaga, led by Rui Hachimura and Killian Tilly, they've both been in big games in the tournament, both played in that national championship 2 years ago. And I feel like they're always a good team in March, and you don't want to play against them in March. The Oregon Ducks, star Bol, son of Manute Bol, kid 7'3", he can shoot 3. It's unbelievable what he can do. I think with help from Lewis King and Peyton Pritchard, that they'll be a great team, probably win the Pac-12. And the biggest surprise that I have is the Syracuse Orange. Their 2-3 zone, impenetrable. Last year in March, we saw it. Michigan State struggle with it. Even Duke struggled with it in their Sweet 16 win against them. And their offense has been what's held them back the last few years. But I think this year with junior Tyus Battle, sophomore O'Shea Brissett, I think they're going to lead the way and get them to the Final Four.
All right, let's go with some sleeper teams, maybe someone outside the top 25, not really on most people's radars. Who do you have?
I think it's St. John's, led by guard Shamori Pons. These guys beat #1 Villanova last year in a shocking performance. I think led by a Hall of Fame coach in Chris Mullen. I think they have the talent to maybe make a run at the Big East. It's going to be hard to beat Villanova, but I think they'll be at the top up there. And once they get to March, if you see them as a 10 or a 9 seed, I don't think you want to play them. I think they're a tough team. How about you?
I'm going to stick with the Big East. I'm going to go with Georgetown. In a similar situation, they have a great coach, Patrick Ewing. He's had another offseason to try and get this group to where he wants to get them. I think that they're led by center Jesse Goen. He, over 3 years that he's played so far, averaged 12 points, 7 rebounds. I think that aside from Villanova, the Big East is pretty open. It's always a deep conference, but I think that maybe with some luck and win some close games, they could be a team a little bit over 500, possibly make a run in the tournament.
We're going to do some game picks for the upcoming week. Tonight, national championship rematch, Villanova versus Michigan. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Villanova. I think that they're a young team. They lost a lot of players on the national championship team. But I think that they will run the Big East. They will show that they are one of the best teams in the country, and they will win somewhat comfortably. What about you?
I agree. I think first big game in the renovated pavilion. They got good returners, people who played solid minutes last year, Connor Gillespie, Phil Booth, Eric Pascal, and they got Javon Quinterly coming in as a freshman. And Jay Wright, I feel, has been the best coach in college basketball in the last 3 years. He really gets his team going. He might not have the best talent, but he develops his players. They play the right way, and I think they win the thriller tonight against Michigan.
What about, you got #2 Kansas versus #24 Marquette later on in the week. What do you think?
I said before, I wasn't really impressed with Kansas. I think Marquette steals the game here. Junior guard Marcus Howard, averaging 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists a game. I think they're going to take it to the Jayhawks, and it's a win for Marquette.
I think that despite losing the #1 ranking, Kansas is still a decent team. They will still win, not comfortably, but I think it'll be a close game. But I think that they will still win.
Syracuse versus UConn at MSG. What do you think?
I'm going to roll with Syracuse. I think that they have been on the bubble the last couple of years going into the tournament. I think that they're going to prove This is a different year, a different team, and they're going to come out and win somewhat comfortably. What about you?
I agree. I think Cuse's defense way too strong for a lackluster UConn offense. With a new coach, I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. And I think Cuse wants to match up. If they win the game, they're going to match up against Oregon the next night. And I think they want to prove to the country that they're a team to be reckoned with. So I think they're going to come out, play well, and it's going to be a big win for Syracuse.
All right, that's all we've got for this episode. We'll see you next week.